Let's take a look at some of those Spanish Grand Prix updates that everybody expected. And the first car I really wanted to talk about was the Red Bull. Red Bull have been really intricate and detailed about the updates they've brought to Barcelona. And it took me a very long time to pick out a few interesting details on this car. Let's take a look at the first of those. And it's around the front wing of the car. They've brought along revised front wing end plates. As you can see the shape difference on the new version compared to the old, and this comparison is a pretty stark and clear version. You can see like the shape of the main plate is slightly different and it's a lot more curvy, and those were fitted intermittently through practice to both cars. They were clearly experimenting with putting one version on one car or one version on the other and seeing which worked best for the car around a lap of Barcelona. But that wasn't the only thing that Red Bull had brought to circuit to Catalunya. They'd also bought this new rear wing. So this is actually the British Grand Prix version, and you can see the main plane shape there is totally different to the version at the Spanish Grand Prix. That's because the track has very different demands to Silverstone, and actually we saw that very different rear wing, something quite similar at the Hungarian Grand Prix, very high downforce circuit, and Red Bull have clearly been experimenting with trying to get the best out of their car in maybe that low speed final sector. But it's not all they had. Something I noticed late in free practice too was this interchangeable panel that Red Bull have got on their front brake ducts. And of course, brake ducts have been a big story in the news recently. So they slot in this panel, but they also have this alternate panel made in a rapid prototyping machine, which allows the brakes to cool slightly differently. Now, again, Red Bull were chopping and changing between this panel, the panel you saw earlier, and also a third version of these brake cylinders that didn't have an interchangeable panel at all. So clearly they're finding some advantage with the way they're cooling the brakes and working that air through the front wheels. And that can be crucial in terms of downforce around the barge boards and generating it that way. Red Bull, though, were not the only team to bring big new aero parts. Take a look here, for example, at their sister team, AlphaTauri. They too had a new rear wing, and you're going to see a bit of a theme here. And you can see the difference in the main plane is slightly harder to pick out, but also you've got the T-wing, which comes and goes, and it's on the car in Barcelona, but you see the centre section of the wing there is slightly more kicked up. It is a different wing, but it's very, very hard to discern that difference, and it took me quite a while staring at photos to see what the actual differences are. But you can really see the team, again, trying to optimise that car. Again, I think it's around the final sector of this lap rather than the higher speed, high G-forces in Sector 1 and Sector 2, though I could be wrong because I haven't stuck either of these cars in a wind tunnel. Nor have I put in a wind tunnel the Ferrari. Ferrari have been working very hard in the wind tunnel, though without too much success yet, but they have bought a slightly different rear wing, again based on the Hungary version. You can see that the main plane, the lower element, is very different shape and size to the version used in the British Grand Prix, and is again similar to the version used in the Hungarian Grand Prix, but not quite the same. Is it helping Ferrari? Well, Charles Leclerc was quite quick in free practice, but not as quick as Ferrari would like to be, because that car's not painted black now when it used to be silver. Finally, McLaren. They too, guess what? Another new rear wing. And this one is a combination of elements we've seen before. So you can see the new wing at the bottom with that very straight, flat main plane, and that flap is slightly different. We've actually seen the flap and the bendy sort of upper older version of the wing together, and we've seen the other flap and the straight main plane together in different races. So in Austria and in Hungary and also at Silverstone, there was a different combination of rear wings that McLaren were using. But that's it for the major updates for what is quite an unusual Spanish Grand Prix in this respect, because with the nature of the global pandemic, it means that teams are bringing their updates in a different pattern to normal. So Barcelona is not the big update city it normally will be. But in 2 weeks' time, check out those rear wings again in Spa, or just hit this channel again, look on F1 TV, because we will be looking at those wings in great detail for you.